watching this video that Dan shared about the history of Christian persecution, and I was like, wait, I knew it was like vastly overreported. Even Paul's story of how he murdered people is just like fanfic, basically him just trying to dramatize his transformation, but it never really hit me what that has as an implication today. Watch the video so you understand what I'm talking about.
Reason scholars don't think that Christians were persecuted in the 1st century CE is because persecution is about identity. To persecute someone, you target them for some aspect of their identity, here their religious identity, and then you deliberately go out of your way to harm them or to make life difficult for them, to discriminate against them. So in order for Romans to be persecuting Christians, they definitely need to know who they are. And we don't have any evidence that the Romans knew the name Christian until the 2nd century. That's not surprising, because it doesn't seem like Christians were calling themselves Christians until the last decade of the 1st century CE. Paul refers to followers of Jesus as followers of the way, and otherwise, sort of whether or not they were ethnically Jewish or Gentile, as just sort of Jews, part of Israel.
How crazy is it that nowadays, here in America, majority of people who've been Christian the entire history of America, they've always piggybacked on this idea that the persecution of their faith is the reason why we have to continuously take away rights. What do I say when I mean by that? Well, they use the Bible text as proof that they were persecuted and that they will become persecuted as proof of the end time. And then they turn that into political alignment. So you see it with slavery, right? They literally seceded from the Union because they were saying it was going against their rights. This is my right and you are persecuting me as a Christian, my God-given right to have taken this land from people and then forced other people to work on said land. How dare you persecute me? They continue to do that, for civil rights. How dare you force my kids to go to school with another race of kids? They used it to take away alcohol during Prohibition because Christian nation women saw it as a threat to the moral values of a Christian family, so no more alcohol. To gay marriage. How many times have you heard that it's infringing on straight people's rights for gay people to get married? On their religious freedom. It is persecuting them. It is affecting them. Someone else's marriage changes your day-to-day life? I don't know. It's never made sense. None of it makes sense. But this entire time, how our country has been formed and built and wars fought over has been this persecution complex of how hard it is to be a Christian and how judged people will be for believing in the same thing that the majority of the people in your country believe. You can't really be persecuted if you're in the majority, babe. How crazy and ironic is it that there is no proof that there was even an original Christian persecution? Maybe later on, but it was pretty short-lived because we're talking 2nd century when we start even seeing Christians as an identity instead of them being Jewish. Then you only have like 100-year run before Constantine moves in and literally imperializes Christianity across the world, making it a majority. The persecution complex is so deep and so far in people's psyches that to this day, we are now fighting over transgender children and their right to live a happy life, while grown-ass men are outside threatening people with violence because somehow a kid living their life is persecuting the 50-year-old Christian man. There's no basis in it. It doesn't make any kind of intellectual sense, but more importantly, there's not even a historical sense for it.